Hi everyone. I'm just smiling because this is my 20th take to make this video, but I hope it goes well. I know this video is long. I know we are in a world of Insta and we want to hear it fast in 2 3 minutes. I'm sure my team will make that for you. Yeah, to satisfy that part of you, but I really want that go through it, even if you don't want to join or you don't, you at least should know real what we can do in pediatric practice. This time, I wanted to connect with you all about my pediatric practice. As you all know, I wrote a book, A Wonder with a Little Wonder, 20 years back. And that book is part of 35 plus countries and 20 countries. It's a case taking book. And many of you have heard me in various of my seminars, 100 plus seminars all over world about pediatrics. Some of you have attended my live cases pediatric seminar. So, and now this book is 20 years old. What, so the question here is what happened to it? Where is this pediatric journey has gone further? And I thought that's I should share now. Since 10 years I'm working on it, and I call this all the learning what happened in pediatric practice in last 15 years, especially last 5 years. I'm putting together in this workshop called the Just Right Child Centric module. In fact, it's further extension of my Just Right module in homeopathy. And this is what I want to share with all of you. In the sixth module, which I'm doing, it is divided broadly into five types of five learning of mine. And this is what I want to share with you that what I'll be doing in this workshop. Yeah, this way it is better. Generally, I don't need PowerPoint, but I think you should know exactly what it is and where it is going. Yeah, I call this the Just Right Child Centric module. Hmm. And I told you in 5 steps. The first step I will cover two part. And idea is to connect all those who have heard me for last 25 years, especially my module, my child centric module, and those who have not heard from me at all, how both of you get that further journey. Yeah, those who are new, they get the concept, the child centric module exactly. So the first part of this, what I'll be doing is the concept holistic module in homeopathy, whether it is case taking module, totality module, tool selection module, remedy search module, or reading remedy module, all based on integrative holistic approach. Once you understand this module, next I take you to this module in child centric practice. The second part of the first is when I take you to child centric module, the first thing comes up is my existing child centric module. That's a wonder with little wonder. So, all the things in that book, the three steps of case taking, and the special areas like how to explore fear, dreams, imagination, art, interest, hobbies. Already you have questions in that book. So now there are new standard and artistic question in those areas which are mentioned in A Wonder with a Little Wonder. That's what I will be doing in a first part of this module. Like this, that you already had standard question of fear. Then the new artistic question, yeah, new artistic question. For example, fear phobias. So around 20 to 30 questions which can be asked in the area of fear, not mentioned anywhere. Similarly, same way, the artistic and standard question in the area like dreams, nightmare, interest, hobbies, art, imaginations, those extra new questions, 10 to 20 of them, which can help us in this existing areas. The idea of doing this first part is to connect both those who have followed these ideas for 20, 25 years and those who are new and they are want to learn pediatric practice. Yeah, case taking module, totality module in pediatric practice. They will come together and understand. Once this integrative, just right, integrative holistic module is established, we go to the second part. And this is where the whole new journey starts. Speaking about a case of alopecia totalis, yeah, with a vitiligo since birth, an autoimmune, two double autoimmune disorders since birth. The just the exact case taking module, yeah, totality module, tool module, age centric diary, and homeopathic centering counseling in children. Yeah, so that you understand the concept well. It starts. This is where, yeah, the whole journey takes it a further wing. It's actual, the right child centric module. I call this age centric module. Now, why I call this age centric module? Because this is the first time we divide the child case taking according to their age. The non-verbal children up to 1 to 2 year, toddler 2 to 4, verbal children you divide them into, yeah, imaginary age, teen age, yeah, and then teenage you divide into early teenage, mid teenage, late teenage. You will see further that how, why this division is important and how the case taking module, standard question, artistic questions is different in each age. This is what is my learning of last 10 years. So, for example, first, the existing 3 steps of case taking, how standard questions, guided passive, and all the areas you can ask question according to age. Same way your second step and third step can be done according to that. And that way it becomes not only child centric, but also age centric specific module. And that's where child will open up well. Let me take you further. So this will, after doing that, in each of this age, I have questions which are standard questions, artistic module, and child centric designer diary. For each age, a specific diary, which we will talk further. I will demonstrate as we go further a case to to speak about this module. A case of a recurrent pneumonia, a verbal girl, where all the stages of case taking has been applied. Then we will go in a module 3, specific age, like imaginary age, which I told you, verbal children divided into imaginary and teenage. So, what is the physiological concept and psychological concept? Understand it well, and according to that, you divide the questions: artistic standard questions, artistic questions, artistic method, and the diary. The standard new questions, which I will talk about, but also from my previous book, A Right Brain Approach, those questions which are artistic related to this age, I will put there. For example, methods like imaginations or once upon a time storytelling. What are the questions fits at this age and why? And then the new artistic questions. For example, with imaginary age, the question like, once upon a time in a magical forest filled with talking animal, a curious animal discover a hidden path leading to an enchanted castle. Follow the animal and write about your quest. Like that, new questions are only specific to this. All I will list out and explain you why. And followed by example of a case like teenage centric early, or the cases, this is like a imaginary age child, how it is you will apply there. Yeah. Then you entered into the teenage centric. Yeah. In teenage, I already spoke about that divide them. For example, if you I want to explain you here that 3 teenager came to me and I started their case with a 3 different question like this. Why they all were teenage, but the question, if you look at it, is different. Like in a second one, it is talk to me as if you're sitting in your alone blissful space with your best friend and a partner, and you are sharing about your natural you, huh? Which speaks about you. But in a third one, the question was different. Talk to me as if you're sitting in your alone blissful space with your ideal role model. Why this way? Reason is, if you go into teenage, the psychologist, child psychologist, they divide teenage into early teenage, mid teenage, and late teenage. Each one have a different physiology, different psychological development. If that is so, then their questions in case taking module, their standard questions, artistic questions, yeah, artistic methods, artistic diary should be different. Let me give you an example. Let's go to the early teenage. For example, in them, one of the questions I start with an open passive, that I'm sure right now at this stage of your life, you're going through a lot of changes in you, changes at body level, even mentally. Yeah, like in your private alone space. What changes have you are going through right now? Because this is the physiology and psychology they are going through. And like that, many more questions in early teenage. Same way the guided questions, many, but like one example I want to give you, imagine your life as a movie. Now pitch it and see what is coming up. It'll be interesting that how many questions are possible with early teenage. Similarly, artistic questions relate because they're going through the body changes, then related to body. Have a conversation with your body and many more. Many more. I've just cut it here for you, but many more. Similarly, yeah, if you go to the mid teenage, it'll be the same. But before we go there, the example of the case is like a girl with a fear, fright, and nightmare. How open in the beginning of the case, when we guided her to different areas, what question we asked, how the teenage centric diary helped us, how the methods helps us not only during case taking but also after she improved completely. So interesting, and how method which helped. And another early teenager where the whole she been to many psychologists for fear and phobia and nightmares, and how this method, child centric, age centric method, became a remedy. It'll be, you know amazing to see this. Then from there we will move to mid teenage with the same base, standard question, artistic question, like that. Yeah, like this. If I give you an example which I spoke about it earlier, and that way many questions which you can just start the case, and then when they stop you can guide them in a different areas like fear, dreams, imaginations, early childhood, but according to this age, questions you can form. Guided questions, for example, one of them is, if your playlist with song, which movie, podcast, TED Talks, books, and fiction do you put in the top on the top? Doing this, and then when you see this happening in the cases, like a girl which I'm going to present to you, she came to me early teenage, yeah, where I use early teenage standard question, artistic question, and a diary format, and how gradually the totality came up. She improved, and we stopped her treatment for few years. The same girl again came up in a mid and just at the age of late teenage with a different pathology. And then how the case taking module did according to that age, how she what came up on the surface. It's a lovely to see in a same child and how what happened there. Yeah. Then we go to late teenage, which we call young adolescence. Naturally, questions and all should be different. Yeah. I've already spoken about this question to you. Like in a diary, for example, many questions can be given to them. Here, one of them is, write a letter to your future self in 10 years. Yeah, detailing where you hope to be, because this is where now they are imagining their journey. They are already entering into that adulthood. So imagine how many questions are possible there. So that, and then do that, yeah, and then show you a case of a late teenager who came. She's a hockey player with a recurrent shoulder dislocation every month, and she's into competitive sports. How late teenage centric module of case taking, questions in beginning of the case, middle of the case, and in the end of the case, age centric question help to bring the whole state out. how her diary was designed, yeah, how her follow-up were designed, and then what happened to her over a period of 2 years, 3 years. It's interesting to see. Second, this another case, which is Stenthal syndrome, yeah, where the it's a very specific, unique syndrome where while watching the artwork, you get panic attacks and phobias and anxieties and hallucinations. How, according to the age and acute and right at that moment, you design artistic questions and methods, not only to bring the whole state on the surface and the remedy, but also to give them to do those method so that they heal themselves when such attack comes in future. It's an amazing case which you will learn a lot of a late teenager. Yeah, how the method itself became a remedy. Yeah, and then what methods I gave him to balance his life so that this goes away completely from his being. From there, yeah, so this is all about the different stages of childhood. Now, the now the on the fourth and the fifth module, yeah, or fifth module, I will take you to special module of children. When I say special, what do I mean is that questions like how do we explain children what we do in homeopathy? They should understand it, right? Otherwise, imagine teenager, they will never come to you. So how do you explain an teenage imaginary age, early teenager, mid teenage, and the late teenage what we do in homeopathy according to what they understand it? For example, and those some videos so that you can explain to your own patient. Yeah, for example, this child, just hear some words.
That every child is a director, producer, storyteller, storywriter, cinematographer of their own inner movie. Yeah. The second, what we believe is every child has a very unique inner movie, which is very unique to each child.
Like this, keep explaining them what we did in homeopathy, how the interview was designed, yeah, what we do in searching a remedy, what is the remedy in a very scientific way according to the language they understand, so that they become part of this journey. Many homeopaths miss this until none of them do it, but actually it should be done. Yeah. So there, if you, I'll explain it to you this whole with interesting journey that how I do with each child this.
Yeah. So that will, A, you will see it clearly, like how you saw your business module. So the future, whatever comes up, you'll see it better. And for me, it will help you to treat you.
Understood? Then I will take you to that.
So what we
Yeah, what difference the child centric, exact age centric witnessing process can make a difference to a child. Yeah, once you do the real child centric, age centric, in the end, if you see, really, child is at the next level. It's almost like he's got the first dose of a remedy. I'll give you an example of a child. Yeah, see what happened. See, interesting. In philosophy, right? So before
Yeah, she
this
likes to talk
interview,
about that.
exact. So before this interview and now, what's your idea about this kind of approach?
Wow.
Hmm?
Wow, this
Yes,
is this is fascinating. I
yes,
think
that
I I want to go into this field one day. Like, I never knew what I wanted to do when I grew up, and I never found the right thing. When I was little, I was like maybe a teacher, but then no, and then I was like maybe a therapist, but I'm not really a therapist type. I think this is my niche. I think this is what I want to do. Something like this.
You see how beautiful. I'm not showing you whole. We'll of course talk about it. That how beautifully that she explains that how there are many baskets available, and this is the right basket of a basketball for me. And before this, I went to many therapists, many therapy, and how this is the one for me. Yeah, this is what, and they, so the teenager stays with you.
Mm.
Then I'll take you further. That how a special diary, which I'm sure many times in last 5 years in my seminars I've spoken, but this has taken actual age-centric child diaries, like a child diary for non-verbal children, verbal children, yeah, in verbal children, imaginary children, teenage, and in teenage, early, mid, and late, or even the acute in children. How specific divisions are there, specific uh, areas are there, and questions are there to ask there. This is something new which I would love that most of you will use in your practice. From here, we will take this journey further to lot of new artistic method. I'm sure you have seen my book, A Right Brain Approach in Homeopathy. Many artistic methods are mentioned, but child-centric artistic method to it heals them. It becomes a therapeutic method. I've developed 20 plus such methods which are not in my earlier books. A new one which is only in the Just Right child-centric module. Some of them we will study there, like similimum book reading. What is that method like? The step one, step two, and step three of that. Especially when child coming with a fear, nightmare, things bothering them. How we connect and help them to understand. Method like mutual storytelling. Method like systematic desensitization. And I'll show some of them with exact case, like this case of a boy with a recurrent upper respiratory tract infection, bronchitis every 15 days, and how the child centric, age centric module, yes, and then the specific artistic module which helped him in case taking and during the follow ups. And even once he improved and now he's kind of teenager, he's using them. So this whole journey of 10 years, you will see with this methods how it helped him. Like this boy, 5 years later, what happened to him? 3 years or 5 years? Yeah, only a boy who was destructive. What happened to him? And beautifully, and if I just show you a video, if I understand it correct, you are putting him into the Iron Man, which is three things together, right? Swimming and
Yes, yes.
the cycling and
Cycling,
the
swimming, and running.
running. A boy at the age of 12, just at the beginning of the teenage, how doing Iron Man, yeah, and a boy who had asthma, recurrent asthma, a boy who is putting his energy into constructing energy like this, where he can work for whole year in a whole big house. There, big house. He can make a logo from a Lego things which nobody has made it. Lovely, lovely. So
Plant also is
interestingly, you will see that what step by step, 1 month, 3 month, 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, what happened down the line, and how the disease energy becomes a constructive, healthy energy. Understand? Yeah, and from there, I will take you to special modules like a trauma module, psychiatric module, how to heal children within artistic methods. Yeah, and especially a module which is close to my heart, uniquely able children. Yeah, there, of course, I've spoken like for take example of a uniquely able children. When I say uniquely able children, is special children, autistic spectrum, ADHD, yeah, learning disorder, dyslexic, yeah, cerebral palsy, down, those children. Of course, I've spoken a lot in last 5 to 7 years about the 5 step module in this children, yeah, of a case taking module. But I'm taking it further that among this, there are many children who are Asperger, ADHD, those who are verbal, how you can design uniquely questions and methods, almost 50 plus of them, that you not only get the good case, you those methods become therapeutic to them. And I'll give you example of those questions around 20 plus, like write about a moment you first realize you have ADHD. How did that make you feel? Two, describe how your body feels when your mind is overwhelmed. Like that, if I'm not mistaken, there are around 50 questions here which you can use it with such children. Yeah, which I never spoken about it. Then a specific diary for non-verbal children where the section 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 exactly what to ask, what question to put it there so that they note it down well. Because in this cases, children are not verbal. So you are depending on a diary. But if a diary is child centric and age centric, it'll help you a lot. This is the best gift I could have given to myself when I understood it. Hmm? And then, of course, I'll explain you this with a case of an Asperger, a live case of an Asperger, where already now 10 years are over. Yeah, what happened? How the child centric, age centric, and artistic method centric approach was done in this case, and how whole state came on the surface. And once we understood, then in follow up, how child completely improved. Yeah, like that. Hmm? For example, in this case, we all became his fear. Like we became a method we use that child has 5 fear and one major fear. So all of us present in the interview, like me, his homeopath, to translator, we all became him, his fears. And then how we created a similar situation and how the whole case came on the surface. It's an amazing case to witness what difference it
Can we do one thing
happen.
now? Okay? I become a monster. She becomes an animal.
Yeah, just becoming his central most fear and delusions, how the whole case came on the surface, and that itself became a healing to the child. It's unbelievable to observe this. So I'll start in with this case and
Can we
some
do?
more cases there. Now you all will ask me question that Dinesh, you are teaching for last 25 years about pediatric practice. First, in your pediatric book, you have written 10 cases. where they were pediatric age that time between 2 to 10 or something, or 20, 15. Now, what happened to those children? Yeah. Some of you will ask me a question, especially who are with me for last 15, 20 years, that Dinesh, in many seminars, especially pediatric seminar, you presented pediatric cases. What happened to those cases? And some of you specially attended because you knew that I'm a child centric guy who's doing pediatric practice in the center. You attended my live case seminar specially, and you brought those child for a live case, or you witnessed those children in a live case seminar. What happened to all those cases? Don't you think this question is valid? Do we answer, or we forget about it once the seminar is over? So those children which I saw 20 years back, now they must be between 20 to 30 or 15 to 30. What happened to them? Children in my book, children I presented in the seminar, and children which I took the live cases. I thought this should be the main part of the my research work. And that's what I did for last many months. I kept in touch with them. Especially, I'm sure one thought will come in your mind, what happened to that octopus boy? With the case which took me all over world, a case which you still speak about, many of you. What happened to that autistic boy who started talking and, yeah, became normal? They are in their 25s and between 25 and 30 now. Or what happened to that cancer girl? And like that live case in many countries. That what happened to that coffee boy? And this is what I will speak to you about, in the last session, that what happened to this boys, what or girls, this children. Example, octopus boy. He's 20, not 23, I think he's now 26 or something. Yeah, he came to me at imaginary age. Of course, we are all seen the follow-up that he was much better. Then what happened when he was in early teenage? What happened when he was in late teenage? And what happened to when he's now adolescence, he's adult. Yeah. What happened to that octopus energy? What happened when he select his profession, study, profession, art, yeah, sports? Did they all have centered around his healthy energy or the octopus energy which improved? Yeah, this is interesting to see. You promise, for example, here is that boy. He's now 26. And see, as I told you, I'm doing to call all those children and talk to them. See, listen to him.
I'm working on research on my further research on pediatric practice. Talking to all my patients which were 20 years back, 15 years back.
Yes, doctor.
Especially those who were children.
Right.
And now want to check where are they.
Okay.
So, we said that what difference it makes to them.
Right.
Since I saw you also when you were like around 4, 5. Right?
Yes, doctor.
So, overall, that age and that problem, pen sinusitis.
I remember I had to get a surgery, and then because of your medication, then I didn't have to actually get the surgery done.
Mhm.
And I used to be very weak as a kid, and touch wood, I've not been.
So this is just that he was better. I'm not showing you whole. We'll wait for what happened. In many seminars, I spoke about, that if we talk about a holistic integrative module. And if we are selecting a remedy on integrative holistic module, a remedy which is perfectly fitting, then don't you think that it should bring a change at all the level? Yeah. And if a disease energy has become a healthy energy, and I kept telling in many of my seminar, did the disease energy become a gift? Yeah. Once you become healthy, eh, and these children who have selected now their profession, art, sports, alone space, spiritual space, are they have selected according to that natural healthy energy and moving towards that real unique individual higher purpose according to the energy which has got healed? Interesting to see. That's where the validity of what we are talking about, integrative holistic module, will come into picture. And this is what I'm planning to do, that we talk about in children is best because we get many years to watch them. Yeah. If time permits, I'll do some more cases, like a case of a thalamic hemorrhage. Yeah. In a child who is kind of early teenage. Yeah. And what happened, how the early teenage centric case taking approach helped to recover even in the such condition which was 2 year old when he this I will do in there's a special part, uh, late teenage schizophrenia, and what difference the case that method did to him. The idea is that this is the right time if we talk about integrative holistic homeopathy based on individualization and holism and searching that, then the whole method should be individualistic, child centric, age centric. And if it is child centric, age centric, and then the tool, yeah, totality making and a remedy selection is according to age centric, child centric totality which is coming up, then this is perfect, the just right module. I invite you to witness cases where this just right module of case taking according to different age has been done at its best, where the standard question, artistic question, artistic method, and the diary questions are appropriately used. Yeah, whether it's the case of a non-verbal children, uniquely able children, children with imaginary age, early teenage, mid-teenage, late teenage, or the special module cases like uniquely able, trauma, psychiatric module, or the other videos like how we can explain homeopathy to children, what we do in homeopathic interview and the approach, and also what difference the child-centric, age-centric interview can have an impact on a child, where it's that itself can become a therapeutic, a first dose of a remedy. And all these cases are new with follow-up of at least 1 year and maximum up to 10 to 20 years. Yeah. And not only we are talking about just a follow up now, but we are talking about children over the period of 20 to 25 years. Yeah, with this, I invite all of you. I've been heard from my team that we already have 75 plus international people. So I'm very, very good, happy. And I'm convinced, like our all earlier ones, we'll have a lovely discussions and some of the masters also joining in, which I'm very privileged that they many times due to their, even with their busy schedule, they come and be part of it. Yeah. So all the best, and I look forward to meet you soon, either here or somewhere else to share about this journey. Big healing up to all of you. Bye bye.